And this is pretty hype. This is our finals. We're gonna do a best of three. We've got Greyson in the brown shorts again, versus Kimberly using Brian's account because she didn't make her own, in the teal. And This is the Legends of the Arena TTS mod on Steam. 6 out of the 8 in the box are available for you to play around with, and it looks like the players have gone ahead and selected their character. But let me introduce my co-caster first. This is Captain No Fun, fighting game expert. So glad to have you aboard.
Hello, everybody. Captain No Fun reporting for duty. And just a small correction, fighting game expert and tabletop connoisseur, which is why I'm here. Pleasure to be commentating with you, Michael, over at the Legends of the Arena Grand Finals as we have Greyson versus Kimberly in this really interesting set between Fitz and Lucian.
Yeah, I'm excited. We just finished watching Greyson show power of Lucius in his semifinal versus Gamble, and I think we actually, the last matchup of that set was Lucius versus Fitz. So I'm excited to see what learnings he brings to this one. But Kimberly in the teal already laying out her first sequence, so she looks prepared.
Yeah, one interesting thing is about Kimberly is a Fitz main. She beat Tikkit to beat Hilda and Sabo, and generally has a straightforward game plan with a lot of smash, especially at range 0. That is from the developer notes from Brian, who has watched Kimberly play extensively.
True, 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 true. And we're off. So right away, both players leaning towards that aggression, and Grayson's gonna dive in and become the wolf. And that's the kind of special thing about Lucius. You got to manage the two forms, but if you, when done well, it's a lot of power.
It is, and I really like how Greyson was starting off with Link Up. Link Up has been an underutilized special move in the previous matches we've seen, just because at that range, you typically want to be throwing shots. So I appreciate the gusto to throw it at turn 1.
Right. And it looks like both players just opting for the hit in exchange too. We've got a real fast draw claw from Greyson and a slower smash, but end result's just 1 fatigue each.
Indeed, and it's really important to notate for the audience that even though the damage properties of both cards are different, because of the way that push is affected, essentially a 2 hitting smash and a 3 hitting attack do the same level of damage at this stage.
That's right, yeah. And as the game goes on, and you get to have more fatigue on each characters, the power starts to matter of an attack starts to matter a lot more. But yeah, and then it looked like they wrapped up the first sequence with a nice reposition from Greyson, and Kimberly playing it safe with the block. I think they ended where they started, each with 1 fatigue. So I think very even so far. But they're blitzing out plays. I love it.
It is. However, you have to remember that when you are even with a heavier character, you are losing. And that is the difference between Fitz. Notice, audience, that Fitz's fatigue tracker goes all the way up to 3. Meanwhile, Lucius goes up to 4 because Lucius is the smaller one of these two fighters.
That's right. Yeah. So I think, Greyson will have to find a way to get ahead on fatigue. And oh, they're both going for the shot. Just throwing fireballs. So yeah, like Captain No Fun said, that's gonna favor the heavier character as they both go up by 1 fatigue.
And it's really interesting. Kimberly is a Fitz main, but is playing Lucius, and is pretty much playing Lucius the same way Greyson is playing Fitz. So these two are definitely in the same wavelength, unable to really depart from it as they're kind of one-stepping each other into even spots.
And look at that. They both play shots both play dives, but Greyson has the initiative, so he just remind the players to move it over. They both play dives, so Greyson gets to move because he goes first, but Kimberly will end up with the initiative. Ooh,
Beautiful call out. Tenderize is one of Fitz's best cards, in my honest opinion, because it is a high damage attack while also blocking. So while Greyson did do an amazing job throwing the attack after dive, which is a very common sequence, Fitz is wow, I got him. Greyson, Kimberly did it. Wow, names. Kimberly did an amazing job throwing the smash, but Greyson called it out with the tenderize, which is block 3, swing 3.
Okay, Kimberly's playing Fitz this time. So Kimberly had the call out.
God,
The Fitz main.
I am so sorry.
Oh, no, we're all good.
So sorry for the Fitz slander.
And so, yeah, where we end up, Lucius 3 fatigue to Fitz's 2, and we saw the first push of the game as well. So we've quickly exited the early game where attacks really can't push you to now the mid game of like you're getting pushed a little bit, and I think it makes it harder for you to run your sequences as well as introduce the threat of the game ending. So we'll have to see how Greyson adjusts this,
especially since Greyson has a lot of their special cards on deck. Kimberly has spent 2 of the 3, which, is not actually the worst thing in the world, just because you want to be able to cycle through your abilities. And Gluttony is a very niche card in Fitz's stronghold, as we're going to see right now. Anticipating an early attack. I believe Kimberly was looking for a shot, which is not exactly the quite move you're going to expect when Greyson's in wolf form.
Yeah, I think that the Gluttony came out a little early. I think it's the right instinct, right? That Greyson was going to go for an attack in this sequence, but first frame, it would have been tricky for him to do. So Gluttony whiffs. Greyson gets a little reprieve. Let's see what he can do with it.
And now Kimberly's going to step forward. Greyson does throw his swing. Greyson will be out of range for the swing. Oh, actually, no. It's going to be a shot. This will connect. Yeah,
and it'll go over the block of the step because it's just a 1 block. And so it looks like this is coming up all Greyson. The back to transform and to gain the distance. It was that range 2 we were talking about earlier when we saw this matchup. Finding a range of 2 or 3 versus Fitz can really help. And yeah, Fitz misses again. Where
it really looks like Kimberly was searching for a step from Greyson, thinking that Greyson was going to move into wolf form, but no, this extra rage allowed 2 of Kimberly's attacks to whiff, and that's going to be some nice long-range damage from Greyson, which is something that Lucius could do. We could pepper multiple times from the further distances.
Right, so now players are picking up their alt. Lucius is unique in that he has 2 alts, 1 for each form, whereas Fitz just has the 1. And let me go find that real quick. So Fitz's alt, Big Feast, strikes for how much fatigue on Fitz, and Sharpshooter is a human form, attack, and move, and transform. So it's a really nice utility card with a bit of damage as well.
Not to mention, the more damage Kimberly has applied to them as Fitz, the more dangerous this ult will be.
Yeah, it's already hitting out of 5. So I think, even though we are still, I would say, kind of in the mid part where most attacks will push you a little bit, but not a lot, ultimates get to break the rules. And, I think if Kimberly is able to land Big Feast, it could be lights out in the first game of the match.
If Greyson is not to move and Big Feast lands in that position with 2 away, that would be fatal, just because that would have a push of 3.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see, are the players still feeling each other out? Is someone confident enough to go for just the big swing to finish it all? We'll have to see. I think from what we saw of our last match, Greyson definitely was definitely not taking those wild swings, but interesting.
When both players swing like that, audience, that anticipates a prediction of diving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so both players thinking the other is feeling more aggressive, but in fact, both players after an initial salvo of fatigues are playing with a lot more respect, I would say, with a lot more safety. And ooh, so here at the
Dot
end,
will miss the werewolf.
yeah, as he dives in. And so I think the other thing that this does is it puts Fitz with only, 2 steps or 1 step away from the edge. And I think, Fitz is hard to knock off, but not impossible.
If Greyson could pile on some early fatigue in these 2 swings, I could see a case for the ult killing Kimberly at this range.
Oh, yeah.
But that's going to be a lot of things going into their favor, and the ult is rather slow. Kimberly, though. Kimberly has all the cards. Literally. All the cards.
Yeah, I think, we're in a position right now where both players have started to redraw from their decks. And so we're seeing kind of the second cycle. And Kimberly drawing Gluttony early. I wonder if that's, not necessarily the one she wanted to see. Tenderize feels great versus Lucius, but being able to put 2 more fatigue on Lucius, I think it'd be very valuable.
Especially at this range, Tenderized, Gluttony doesn't seem like a bad move. You are Fitz, you are the heavier body. This will be a great way for Kimberly to overcome the fatigue differential. But it really depends. We could see a swing, or we could even see a step back. Grayson's probably going to swing just because they got... Yep.
Oh my
I
goodness.
called it.
He just goes for the throat. Oh, does he have it? I haven't done the math, but it's a big one. So 5 from this position. Is that enough? Let's see.
You haven't done the math, but the question is, Greyson done the math?
Oh, man.
But we see why Gluttony was a really good decision, just because of the multiple werewolf strikes that Greyson had. But, we have to remember the board state, which is ult.
Yeah, so I think so put 4 push tokens onto Fitz, and only 1 onto Greyson, because Gluttony's a pretty weak attack. And so I think this is the end of match 1. GG's, well played. That's crazy. Greyson, Kimberly had the read. She knew he was going for an attack, but wasn't expecting it to be that big.
No, I wasn't anticipating it to be that big. However, one thing that we did not consider, Michael, which is how close Kimberly was to the edge of the stage.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's, Greyson saw his chance and he took it. And I guess we will get ready for match number 2 in this best of 3. So, Greyson 1 away from winning, 1 away from getting the honor and the prize and the Discord role forever of arena champion until we do another tournament, and then he'll have to defend his title.
Until you do another tournament, but maybe you could give me a Discord role of arena commentator.
That's a great idea.
I know, I'm filled with them. But let's go ahead and remind the viewers at home the rules of the tournament, because on victory, the winner has to change. Now, we've seen Greyson do pretty well with Fitz. In fact, winning one of the qualifier matches to get in here. So having a Fitz mirror is on the deck. I personally think Sabo would be a strong move, just because of Sabo's ability to pile on fatigue.
Yeah.
Kimberly, I don't anticipate a change.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think Kimberly Fitz main, and honestly, the Fitz look good. I think, there were a couple times where Greyson got underneath or was 1 step ahead of her, but in general, I think I was some very solid Fitz play. And one thing is, like, there was definitely and we're getting Alysia. Did we see Greyson play Alysia?
We have not seen Alysia. No, we've seen Gamble play Alysia against Greyson.
That's right. That's what we saw. And so maybe Greyson learned a thing or two, saw what Gamble was doing and thought maybe I should try that as well, because Gamble did beat Fitz with Alysia when Greyson was playing the Fitz. So maybe Greyson's taken those lessons to heart and is going to bring that here for this final. But on Kimberly's side, this is a matchup she's definitely played before, so I expect to see her come out swinging.
Yeah, this is pretty much your Ryu and Ken, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, for sure. I think this is, two of the easier characters kind of having a very mirrored like basic set. And I guess maybe should have explained this before, but like the way Legends of the Arena works is you have a set of base cards that you always have access to, and then you have a set of special cards with the gray silver border that go on cooldown, and finally your ult, which you get one time per game. And so these characters have the exact same set of basic cards. So I do think it really, it does feel like a Ryu Ken sort of situation.
Again, Fitz is going to be the heavier character. However, Alicia's, a lot of her cards that move her forward by a space or swing again on the subsequent swings really favor a stationary opponent. So when your target doesn't move, it's a lot easier to hit. And Fitz, very hard guy to move.
Yeah, he doesn't love it, He prefers you coming to him, even, will go as far to pull you in. I think, it's definitely, it's a great matchup. It's a great pairing to have here. I'm super excited to see these two play.
Now, yeah. If we remember, Kimberly opened up with a link up. That could be a decision to throw. No, we're going with the block.
Okay, and Greyson's starting with the Relentless Cleave, and now this is the one that repeats each exchange. So playing it early, even though it misses, not such a big deal.
No, but that's this is classic, Alysia. Throw the Relentless Cleave early and dive into your opponent. And now Fitz, though, will step back because they get to go second.
That's right. So they thread the needle there where the dive is at 80, but the back is at 40 and the strike is until 20. So it really is, it's a dance there, and they're rewarded for it. Kimberly going for the double up melee attack of Smash and Relentless Cleave. But Greyson, it just gets out of dodge and gets in for one.
I really feel like Greyson did not anticipate the card interaction right there with step being slower, which is actually good in this situation because you want to step after the dive so you dodge the Relentless Cleave.
Exactly.
And, great call from Kimberly throwing that exchange 3 shot. That's been pretty popular in this tournament, wouldn't you say? Exchange 3 shot.
It really has. I think that's something I would look to see if players can punish, because I definitely think like it's a bit telegraphed, but a shot is, it covers a huge range. It lets you turn. And so I think like, as long as they're not in your space, you generally can get a hit with it.
Building the sequence one more time. Greyson has already played the Relentless Cleave. Kimberly has the link up right here, and that will pull Greyson over to their position.
That's right. No damage, but it does power up their next attack and gets the position they wanted. I wonder if Greyson accounted for this. It'll look bad for him if his next card is a dive or something that's trying to move him in, because he's already there.
Step.
Mm-hmm. I think the players are just double checking the wording here. So hit does mean hit does not mean you have to damage. Oh, Kimberly came with a plan. And yeah, it looks like Greyson was doing a shot there, hoping to stay at range. And Kimberly gives him a whack with the Tenderize.
It does. While that was a well-landed attack, that was a pretty suboptimal turn to place Tenderize. You want to play Tenderize when you're anticipating attack. Sure, damage is damage, but you want to maximize the value of that card.
Exactly. Yeah, I think, maybe just a normal smash would have worked better in that case. But, and then we've got the Whirling Leap from Greyson, which is a super strong attack, dives you in and does some damage. And that gets under it gets under Kimberly's shot. So now each player has used 2 of their special abilities and 2 fatigue to 1. So I'd say advantage Kimberly. Sitting pretty on the edge, not worried about being pushed at all. This is honestly, it feels like Fitz's happy place, you know?
Yeah, Fitz is in a happy place, especially when Fitz has low fatigue. And even when Fitz is fatigued up, Fitz is in his happy place. But what I'm trying to figure out is where Kimberly goes from here. We've played the Tenderize, and we are starting at range 0, meaning we could threaten a smash or a block. I don't anticipate an ult from Greyson.
No, yeah. And I think one thing to note is that Alysia has 3 specials. 2 of them are like bonus attacks, and then one of them is like a power up. He's played both the bonus attack specials. So at this point, it's actually Kimberly who has more, I would say, firepower left because she still has Gluttony. So, you know, if they're just standing in a space punching each other, I think Fitz will definitely come out on top. So I think Greyson will be scooting out of here. I think there'll be a back, maybe a block, maybe even a back block step, like whole turn off. And yeah,
The Gluttony will whiff.
Mhm.
You called that excellently, Michael. Just to back off to make some space, the Gluttony will not do anything.
Yeah, but now that back's out, if Kimberly goes for a dive here, it's almost sure to land the smash. Ooh.
Oh no. The diving underneath. It's going to be Kimberly that dives through. And now this third card is really going to settle it. The block is a 2 and the strike is a 3. That means Alysia will take 1 hit.
Right? And that's the power of having 1 extra attack. She could throw out that Gluttony on exchange 1, knowing that she still had the dive to get her into the space of her opponent and then following up with the smash. So by leading with the Gluttony, which maybe wasn't the strongest of moves, I think she really maximized her ability to fatigue the foe. I think that was really well played by Kimberly, and I think Greyson had a strong line of like, I want to get out of here, stay defensive, but you know, Kimberly found a way to get through his defenses.
Back to this situation, starting at range 0, Greyson does have the ult.
Yeah, both
Are we
players
playing
just,
it?
no, I think both players just showing
Wanna
each
look
other
at
the ults, yeah, making sure they knew what it does. It's definitely the kind of card that is so swingy. You know, always always good to let your opponent know, and then you know, they'll never know when it gets played, of course, but just giving them an idea of what you're capable of.
I honestly think Alicia's ult is ideal to play early.
Yeah, for sure, because it just puts on so much fatigue. It's certainly not as good of a finisher as some of the other alts in the game. But if you pair it with the wind up to get the extra power, it does a decent job. Sure.
It is, but it's because of the push tokens.
Yeah.
So there's a wind up. I don't know how to feel about winding up right when this big beefy guy is in your spot. That's going to be 3 strike to
Right to the face. Yeah. And the nice part about wind up is that you won't get any push, right? So while Alicia's winding up, you know, she can't be interrupted. And I think Grayson's just going for it. Yeah. He's just putting everything into the alt basket. I don't know if he has enough damage to win it, but if he follows this alt up with a smash or something, he might. So the first round of the alt misses. The second one should hit, and so that's a strike of 2 because of the windup. And I can choose to move, which I assume he won't. And so then the third strike of the Karba pass should hit.
That was a very good call, using the wind up to really embolden it. And even though Fitz is not moving a lot, that's a lot of damage being piled onto him.
Yeah, I think just like that, we're gonna see Fitz be at 3 fatigue, still no push though. And so I think Greyson, you know, it's a great plan. I assume his last card here is going to be a smash, but it's not going to be enough to get the knockout. But it's a powerful sequence, no doubt. Oh, he goes for the shot.
Turn 3 shot.
We love him here. You know him, you love him. Our favorite turn 3 play, and in this case, everybody misses. Hmm. So, like you said, G, playing the ult early as Alysia, I would say very successful, right? Like 2 fatigue, so you're only 1 behind Fitz now. His back's to the wall, and it's not quite a KO situation for him, but um, it's way more scary than the last time they were in this position.
It's starting to get really scary, especially with the backup against the wall. You said I would not be surprised in this particular round. Kimberly is playing Tenderize.
Mm. Yeah, let's see if
Just
she
because
got
we
it
were.
back. Ooh, she
Oh,
drew the link up.
she didn't. Okay, thank you for doing that.
So
However, the opponent might think there's a Tenderize.
exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I mean, Greyson, I just don't think you can dance on the edge with fits like this. I mean, even with the turning in your plays, if I was Grayson, I would go for just a heads up smash and just take my chances, because you really need to get Fitz, get as many wounds on Fitz as you can. He's still maybe 2, maybe 3 away from really being in a danger zone, but Grayson's ready. He's queued it up. We'll see maybe another hook. Last time Kimberly was in this position, she tried for a hook, and it worked
Yeah,
out.
Grayson. Grayson really needs to get out of dodge.
Kimberly loves the link up, and she makes it work. I think that's the sign of like a someone who's really mastered fits is finding ways to make link up work, even in matchups where it's maybe not the best card.
Yeah, the step back to the link up was a good call, and usually a link up will be followed by a smash, and the dive in is only going to ensure that the smash will
No.
connect.
Yeah, and maybe even more than connect, because that's going to be a power 4 smash thanks to the bonus from the link up, and she's facing the right way. The back link up smash, I think that might just do it. Okay, so we will be going to a game 3 in our finals, way it's meant to be. Yeah, super excited.
I'm act I am very happy to not only see some high level play from Kimberly. The backdash link up smash was a beautiful call. So much damage was applied, and even when Grayson was facing the correct decision, you just can't overcome it. That's smash where you take a rest. Rest at what? 80%? You're dead. You're dead.
Yeah, it's super cool. I think that's not a combination we've seen. Honestly, we saw a lot of people just ignore the link up, but in the hands of a Fitz main, a self-proclaimed Fitz main, uh, it's it's amazing. It's amazing to see. I think that's a trick I'm gonna steal from my book. And so the question is, who will Kimberly go to next? What's the next pick? I think Sabo, in my mind, has a lot of similarity to Fitz. You've got the hook, um, but you don't have as strong of offensive options. Um,
No, you don't. You do have the pull. You have two pulls.
mhm.
Lucius we've seen as just another Fitz.
Yeah.
Werewolf Lucius and Fitz have a lot in common. In fact, we do have the 4 strike and the 70 strike on deck.
Oh, okay. So we've got Grayson switching as well. So Grayson switches to Fitz. If you can't beat him, join him.
Fitz has been a very popular character in this tournament, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think the most popular. Um,
I got you right now. Yeah, thank you, Sardonic, for letting us know that you could hear us. Uh, love back into link up, not on my bingo card. Lots of Lucius love from Fitz Mains. Yeah, you could see that because you just have privilege to the high damage and strike and a very fast strike. 70 is something here, but you know what? Hey, we're not talking about Lucius because we're punching in our ticket with tickets.
Whoa! It was only that's crazy. When you're down to the wire, pulling out one of the most complex characters, one of my favorite characters is certainly my co-designer Brian's absolute favorite character, Tikkit. Let me hover this real quick. So Tikkit, instead of 3 cards, plays 4 cards each sequence. And one of those is an edit. The edit cards are special, and they break the rules a little bit, and they give Tikkit the ability to do things no one else can do. And so I think, yeah, the players right now are going over. I'm sure Greyson, the first thing he asked is, what are these edit cards? So the 2 in the base deck are Double Time, which changes your movement from move 1 to move 2, whether on your forward or backward. And Perfect Timing, which is which has the effect of all of your cards happen in one exchange. And the exchange they happen in is the fastest card in your action stack. And I'm sure we'll see Kimberly bring that card out in 1 or 2, but it's a really fun card because you often do nothing for 2 exchanges, and then in 1 exchange you pack it all in. So your dives, your strikes, your blocks, your backs, it's your combo is kind of uninterrupted. So yeah, I'm super excited. I think this is Tikkit's second time in the tournament, because I know Brian played it in one of the semifinal rounds, but excited to see what Kimberly does with them.
I really feel like this Tikkit choice was made with Lucius in mind. I don't know how it is with Fitz. And the reason why is bullet time, since bullet time can negate almost anything that human Lucius can do.
Yeah, that's right. When you're in those range battles, bullet time, which gives you a block and an attack, and it's just so fast, it's really hard to it's hard for other range characters to deal with. And yeah, Tikkit, is often not the strongest character at range or at melee, but when he pulls out bullet time, it definitely is. And so yeah, we got 4 cards here from Kimberly. One of those will be the edit that'll be revealed in addition to the first card. And so we'll see what she's got cooking. And I mean, not to ignore Fitz, but I'm also interested to see what Greyson does with Fitz. See his take on the character.
What also is going to be a interesting quirk is the just-in-time punch from Tikkit. Fitz loves to just slug it out at range 0. So the moment Fitz can be moved, it means Tikkit will be winning these brawls by just moving the big guy.
That's true. Yeah, immediately resolving the push tokens is super strong for Fitz. But yeah, here we are. Double Time coming out first. So instead of a move 1, now we have a move 2, which gets her right to Fitz as fast as possible, and obviously dodging under the shot here.
One of the quirks about Tikkit's deck is that Tikkit does not have an instant dive, unlike Fitz and Alysia and other characters. So Tikkit can't just blink to your position. He has to double time.
And so this is interesting. Okay, so frame 2, we've got a dive from Greyson and into a shot from Kimberly, which misses, and then frame 3, the block into the smash. So, as we've talked about so much this tournament, and when you're facing those 3 power smash characters, you really have to, blocking just doesn't do much, especially in the early game. So I think, interesting first sequence.
One interesting quirk is I really believe that the block was the suboptimal decision, just because if you're taking 1 strike, if you're taking 1 fatigue, in this situation, if you knew that a punch is coming your way, you might as well punch back so you trade.
Yeah. I wonder if she wasn't expecting the dive, and so thinking you do a shot into a block, expecting the frame 3 shot from Fitz that we've seen so much of, you know?
That is
Yeah.
that is a good point. The only reason why I I want to think about this is because we did open up with a double time, so it was Ticket moving into Fitz's space from the get go.
It was, yeah. I think, maybe getting too deep into the mind games, but certainly when Kimberly was playing Fizz, she was playing back a ton. I think that's one thing I really took away from that game was like, despite Fitz being the kind of character that wants to usually be in the same space, she took a lot of steps back, and so maybe she's expecting the other Fitz player to do that as well. But if I remember Grayson's Fitz play, it was much more of stand there and throw some big punches at you.
Now, are you required to play an edit card each exchange?
You do, yeah. So even if you wish you couldn't, you do. Usually they're a net benefit, but they do force you to play differently, like we saw with that double time. Instead of moving one, you must move two. But usually, yeah, they give you some kind of a bonus, but it's a bonus with a cost in some cases. I think some of the other edits that we'll see uh, give her the ability. I wonder if she's drawn it. Oh yeah, the quick fix, for example, um, gives you the ability, forces every player to put another card in the action stack after the first card's flipped. So you're extending the length of the sequence. And I find that one to be particularly strong because it interrupts your opponent's combo, right? If your opponent's trying to do like a dive smash shot and suddenly they have to do a dive something else and you have the information that they've dived to you, I think that's can be incredibly disruptive. But we'll have to see what she ends up playing. I know we saw the perfect timing there for a moment, and we'll have to see if she sticks with it or if she swaps to a different edit. But overall, Tikkit has 4 different edits to choose from, and we do see the quick fix. Okay, cool, very cool. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So here we go. The tenderize from Fitz is gonna give Tikkit a push token, I believe. Yeah. And then Ticket's punching back, but it won't get through Tenderize. And I mean, this is why Tenderize is such a powerful card.
And you know for a fact Kimberly is saying the same thing, like, tenderize, curse
For
you,
sure.
amazing card.
It's tough, right? When you're in the same space as Fitz and the Tenderize hasn't been played yet, you really have to be careful. But let's see if the card she adds, if that knowledge that she knew this was going to be a 4 exchange sequence instead of a 3, if she's able to use that to get the advantage. I think that's the thesis. And we see Greyson putting down an extra card as well. So let's see what they go for. Okay, nice. So yeah.
That's typically the move that a lot of players fighting Ticket will do, is they'll just throw the block because block doesn't disrupt anything.
Ooh, and then Kimberly had the block ready after the back, and so the gluttony, and then we'll see the shot trades. So yeah, I think overall a really interesting sequence. We saw, man, Fitz is just tough. I think people are having a lot of trouble with Fitz. He's only at 1 fatigue right now, Ticket at 3, and I think, if there's one thing Kimberly can take solace in is that 2 of the 3 specials are out. The Tenderize is out, the Gluttony is out, so it's just the link up, where she still has all 3 of her specials. Or I guess
I'm trying to get into Grayson's mindset right now. We can throw the link up, or we could just bully for position against space.
Yeah,
Kimberly could be playing defensive, so a dive in would be good, as that would allow Fitz to take the better positioning. We don't know. There's time shenanigans that we haven't seen too much of.
yeah. I think one thing I'm interested to see is if Kimberly will feel pressured to start using her specials now, or if she's just going to save them. Because I think once the alts come out, uh, Tikkit Solve's incredibly powerful because after at the end of the sequence, you play the sequence again in reverse. So you do all your cards twice, and your opponent only does the cards once. And so if you can hold on to your specials until then you get to play them twice effectively. And so I think that can be like a really strong combination, but you have to make it to the alts. And I know that Ticket's fatigue meters being pressured here by Fitz.
I wonder if we're going to see a double backstep from Kimberly. That would negate a lot of what Fitz will do. Double backstep to bullet time, actually.
Ooh, and so we'll see the perfect timing. So I'm excited to see the first use of this edit. So in this edit, she'll reveal the entire action stack, and then she'll find the round with the fastest card.
It does have a dive. I was so wrong about that.
And so, yeah, it looks like in exchange one, she'll do all three of her cards. And so I really like this idea of dive, punch, shot. The issue is because Fitz is so heavy, I don't know if the shot will go off.
It's not going to go off. He's going to stay in his place.
So that's definitely a scary thing to do, right? Players debating the order here, but I think they figured it out with just a couple pings. And yeah, so there's the damage. Getting to do a dive and a punch or right about now at in the same exchange is very strong. But then yeah, it looks like both shots will miss, and so now Kimberly's played all the cards that she's going to play this round, and we'll just be waiting the next two exchanges to see what Greyson does. Okay, goes for a link up. So the shot into the link up, but obviously it'll miss because they're in the same space. But if he's playing link up, he must
throw swing.
And yeah, that's going to be a big push.
Sardonic says they think that the fireball was for insurance for back. And that is true, but at the same time, if you were playing the perfect time sequence, there is no step back. It is all your step.
True. But if Fitz had dodged under the dive, all right, so here we are. We've made it to the alts. I think, if I'm playing Tikkit in this matchup, which I do not do a lot, I really do think the alt is it can be a game changer. So the players are reading it right now, and after the final round, play each round again in reverse, but legends besides Tikkit only do the block portion of their actions. So Tikkit will get a second chance to do yeah.
Kimberly has been playing pretty decently. It's just Greyson is doing what Fitz should be doing, not moving and hitting him. It's like swatting flies.
Really is, yeah. Especially, yeah, that last turn. I thought the perfect timing was great. Got her under the shot, got some damage in, and but yeah, Greyson just throwing 3 attacks. I think that's something that most legends can't do reliably, is play 3 attack cards because you only have 2 in your base kit, the shot and the smash. But if you've got enough specials that are attack cards, you can reliably just play an attack every round or every exchange. So we'll see if Kimberly goes for the alt here. I think, is it the right time? Can she wait until using it as a execute or something? We'll have to see, but definitely reaching the danger zone there.
Going for double time this time.
Okay, so the extra movement and bullet time, but Fitz with the dive. Greyson feeling confident that he can just pressure it out. To see, so the bullet time misses. But yeah, nice. Okay, so Kimberly, aware that Greyson can end it all with a smash, gets out of there with a step. But tries to turn, but no turn for that. Let me see.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
I think that's the...
Oh, no. Oh,
they swing in the air.
Tough. But yeah, I think, man, this is a very interesting matchup. I think it's, if I'm, yeah, now Fitz's deck is reshuffled. I guess one thing that I wish we had talked about more is that, like, once Fitz plays Tenderize, right, like, shields are down. You can really go to town on him, and he's not any stronger than a regular legend. But once the special deck reshuffles and Tenderize is back in the mix, you have to be way more careful about being in melee range with him.
I like what Kimberly was doing with throwing bullet time, but the dive really shows Grayson's confidence. And look at how little fatigue Greyson has. We can play with it. In fact, I wonder if Grayson's starting to play with the idea of throwing out that gluttony.
Yeah, right. I think you would, like, this is a time when you're Fitz, you love to play gluttony, because you're like, I'll trade 2-for-1 fatigue all day. Like, that's when you've got this lead in fatigue and you're heavier, you're definitely in prime position to kind of bully the other player and say, attack me all you want, I'm attacking back harder. On Tikkit's end, I think, like, you got to do something to disrupt your opponent's flow, right? Like, take advantage of the fact that Grayson's throwing a lot of attacks. He's not throwing a lot of blocks. So if you can hit him with a melee attack when he's doing a range, or a range when he's doing a melee attack, I think you'll start evening up that fatigue differential.
Going to have to play pretty smart. You could do something like dive in, swing, double time out, maybe.
Yeah. I'd like that a lot, especially especially if you can get to range 3 versus Fitz, then you've negated at least the link up action. And double time, by adding an extra space you can go, I think does a lot to help you there. And Fitz it's not quite there, but he's getting to the point where something like right about now could start really coming into effect. It's strong because obviously it gives you another punch, but then also immediately resolving the push tokens means you can combo it with your other cards really well. As well as disrupt Fitz's attack, right? If you push him when he's doing a slower attack, it's a really powerful card, but you definitely need 1 or 2 more fatigue on him for it to really start to have an effect.
However, Tenderize is the one we have to really be careful about. Tenderize is faster than the just-in-time punch.
It is, yeah. It's faster, it's stronger, it's a mean card. But I know Fitz Tikkit has the tools for it, but we'll see if. Oh,
we're going for the ults. We are going for the ult.
You love to see it. That's hype. And they're both going for a dive, so at least they both are getting what they want, and we'll have to see if. Oh man, I'm worried. I'm worried for Kimberly here. She just has so much fatigue that
any miscalculated move will be the wrong move. This second card is really going to determine it. Kimberly has to live long enough for the ult to kick in.
All right.
It does have Tenderize. We could be seeing it, or we could see a standard block. We go for the smash. The just-in-time punch will connect, but unfortunately, because of the fatigue, it will not apply push.
Yeah, it's just enough, just barely enough. Oh, but if it pushed, how cool would it have been? It would have knocked him out of. Cool. would have knocked him out of his attack, but now I'm worried that this might just be it.
It'd be a whopping 3.
Yeah. We may have just crowned our champion, but I'll let the players, and there it is. Yeah, GG. Well played to Greyson, getting the dub on Fitz, and well played also to Kimberly. I think, just showing that she's a Fitz main to be feared. And yeah, it's just super fun casting with you.
Thank you. Yeah, this was really it. And we could really see the importance of fatigue calculation, because it was just one more fatigue. We would have been able to negate that smash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely think, dang, it was a very, I'm glad she went for the ult. I think it was a super cool final. And yeah, I think we'll let the players go. We'll let Greyson go to his celebration after party, and I will stop the stream here.